What was Dyson thinking? This is really one of the most interesting pair of cans. Quite literally, this thing looks like a pair of cans. The Dyson Zone Absolute Plus that you can only get through Dyson directly comes in a Prussian blue and the colorway is beautiful. But that aside, we need to address the elephant. Two elephants in the room. Does it sound good? Actually, yes, they are more decent than I thought they would be. They sound great and we'll touch more on that later on. How do I feel about wearing this in public? Not so great. Sure, they're meant to help you get cleaner air by filtering and funneling it through this bit down here, but I could not physically bring myself to wear this out in public. But I did anyway, which you'll be seeing throughout this video in clips. I did use it in a public toilet when the ammonia was stinging and the Dyson Zone filtered that nastiness and fed it back in, and the air smells like a brand new car. But is all of this worth the hefty price tag of US $949? We'll find out. I do need to say I will be reviewing whether these headphones are actually viable and functional and how well they perform for the most part. So we're talking about headphone performance mostly. The differences between the normal Dyson Zone and the Absolute Plus, which we have down here, are the accessories you receive, its colorway, and the availability. You can get the regular Dyson Zone through retailers that carry Dyson, but again, the Dyson Zone Absolute Plus can only be bought directly from Dyson. What you get in the box is a carrying case solely for the headphones and its accessories. There is a USB-C charging cable, a 3.5mm cable, an airplane adapter, a strap or rope to carry the case around, the headphones, which explains the size of the case, its visor, which in this colorway really reminds me of Pacific Rim's Gypsy Danger. There's no way I'm the only one that sees that. It's either that or Soldier 76. A soft pouch for the headphones, a visor sleeve for the visor, a visor cleaning brush, and lastly, 4 filters. They are electrostatic filters that Dyson says captures 99% of particle pollutions as small as 0.1 microns, and K-carbon potassium and rich carbon filters for city pollution. Before we get into it, this channel is supported by brands who help us improve our content and keep us going, so stay around for this sponsored message.
Meet the Cyborg 15 gaming laptop from MSI. Check out its translucent material design that not only looks good but feels good thanks to its ultra lightweight chassis at only 1.98 kilograms. Give yourself the upper edge in gaming with its blazing fast performance powered by the latest 12th gen Intel Core i7H series processor and Nvidia RTX 4000 series GPUs. And stay immersed with its Nahibic twin-speaker sound system that provides an auditory feast like no other. For more details, check out msi.com.
You essentially get an extra pair of filters that last up to a full year depending on the city you live in. Say it will last a year in Singapore, our air here is relatively clean all around, but possibly 4 to 6 months in cities like Jakarta, Indonesia. The number of months gets lower or higher depending on the quality of air in the city you may either live or work in. These filters are placed inside the cans themselves because these sides are where the air gets sucked in to get filtered. The Dyson Zone costs US $949, while the Absolute Plus costs US $999.99. Let's talk specs real quick. The specs 40mm 16 ohm neodymium drivers on both sides. Noise cancelling goes up to 38 decibels. There are 11 microphones in total, 8 of which aid in noise cancellation. 50 hours of battery life of low distortion audio. There are controls on the headphones. There is a button on the left ear cup that controls the fan speed modes and the Bluetooth. On the right cup, there is a small joystick that pauses, plays, skips, and goes to previous tracks. It also controls the volume. You can tap twice on the side of either cup to enable transparency and ANC modes. A note on the battery life: if you do plan to use the air purification system on your commute, it will last about 4 hours depending on the speed of the fan you have set them on. So it will last you pretty much your entire commute to and from work, but not much more than that unless you're feeling lucky. A note on the fan speeds: there is also an auto mode that adjusts the fan speed according to how quick you're moving. So if you're jogging or running with these, the fan speeds will increase, and when you do reach a standstill, it will decrease. So they do adapt to your situation provided they are on auto mode. Okay, so this is how it sounds like when the fans are on for the Dyson. So, speed 1, kind of sounds like this. Speed 2, and speed 3. And the air gets funneled in through the visor here, through little slits on this side of the cans. Speaking of running or jogging in public, that also depends on whether you can stomach wearing the whole thing in public. I mean, sure, some of you do not care about getting looks and understand that it's just human to look or stare at something that looks so unique and out of the ordinary. but a lot of people would still prefer to keep a low profile and avoid standing out, which leads me to this point where I am of the opinion that the visor should really be kept to situational usage. The train you're on smells bad? Visor up. Stuck in the toilet with ammonia spewing your nostrils? Maybe visor up. Old man farts in front of you? That really happened. I sure hope you have your visor up. Now, I am using these on my commute to work. I have some notes. The visor is pretty large and it will cover your face and limit your field of view. To put it in a way that we all understand, if you're not confident about walking up or down a set of stairs without looking at the steps, the visor thing would not be for you. The visor does not cover or form a seal on your face, so in no way is this a mask like the LG Puricare V2 that we reviewed right here on the top right if you want to check it out. It just filters the air around you and gets funneled in with this visor. I think in this time where personal and public health concerns are still high or have become a priority for many, wash your hands and butts please, I am begging. You'd still be better off wearing a mask and using your headphones. It would be so cool if the next iteration of this is basically a high altitude, low orbit or halo mask. Slap some matte black on and I would get that off the bat. Right, and if you're into tech wear or raving, I am sure this would be a perfect fit for your drip. The headphones. Who would have thought they would bang at all? No, they do not auto-calibrate ANC pressure like the Sony XM5s, but they do work sort of okay with cancelling out high frequencies thanks to its 8 microphones and its ear cups. Though you'll still pick up train chimes, the sound of the train traveling through tunnels, and higher pitched voices. Its ear cups are very comfortable, they are not made of any variant of leather, so do not worry about it peeling or flaking. Also, Dyson will be selling replacements for these too once they get nasty. But I have noticed that noise does leak out when you do blast music on it, so take note of that. Back to the ANC stuff, you can't really hear the fans even on the highest level if you're playing music or the loudest volume, especially so with more aggressive music like hardcore and metal. Though if you're listening to mellower stuff such as indie, pop or even podcasts, you will hear the fans working a little. Other than that, more than decent ANC that doesn't make you feel like your head is gonna pop. Sound quality is surprisingly great. There is a lot of details in the highs and mids and the bass is punchy where it matters. Whether I'm listening to mellower pop tracks like Taylor Swift's acoustic rendition of Lavender Haze or Phoebe Bridgers' Savior Complex, I know I can count on those headphones to put those details on the strings and bass guitars or double basses on emphasis brightly. More electronic and bassier tracks like Thalassophobia play out really well. Its huge roomy sound translates great with the Dyson Zone. The bass is uber punchy and you can push that up in with their bass boosted EQ option. We'll get into the app in a bit. Rest assured, these headphones exceed my expectations and it's super fun to put them on and listen to whatever you want. Hell, use them for gaming if you want to. They work well enough to give you enough information to know where your enemies are coming from. And here comes the kicker. I can get the same or slightly better audio quality from my much older XM3s with more control of the EQ and whatnot. Dyson has the data and science to back up and drive the R&D for audio development, yes, but this is their first foray into the market and hopefully it won't be their last. They sound good, but there are better options out there for cheaper, especially these Sony XM3s. The headphones are pretty hefty at 595 grams without the visor and 670 grams with the visor. The funny thing is that the AirPod Max weighs 385 grams, almost half the weight of the Dyson Zone. Between the two, I'll go with the Dyson Zone any day because they got the weight distribution right. Besides the 3 cushion areas which are here, here and here on the headband, they place the batteries on these sides of the headphone bands. Now, most headphone batteries are stored in the cans themselves, but Dyson is pretty smart for putting them up here. I put them on for 3 hours straight and that 3-hour mark was when they felt like they were weighing my ears down. The headband locks in well so they don't move around a lot when I shift my head, plus the clamping force with these won't affect you as much. I barely feel it whenever I'm wearing them. Now for the app. It is cool that the headphones measure the air quality and volume around you in real time in these graphs. So again, in my opinion, if you see that green turn into red or something else for the air quality, that's when you bust out the visor. The EQ options are, well, there. You've got an enhanced setting that places emphasis on treble and a slight emphasis on mids, bass boosted that follows the same graph as enhanced but with more emphasis on the bass, obviously. And neutral, a nice almost flat line with a small hill on the treble. You can't change anything unfortunately. I still wish they had that option for that at least, but the 3 options work fine and I found myself on bass boosted majority of the time. Oh, and while we're on the phone, let's try out the headphones' 3 microphones that are dedicated for calls. This is how the Dyson Zone sounds like with the 2 microphones. There are 3 microphones in this meant to pick up your voice for calls and whatnot. So this is how it sounds like, and we'll be doing this without the visor first. Okay, now we're gonna put the visor on. Go. Alright, so this is a microphone test with the visor on and the fans working. We are currently at fan speed 1. I'm gonna turn it up a notch and go to fan speed 2 real quick. So if you hear the words I'm speaking right now, if you can hear what I'm saying, this is basically how it sounds like when you have the fans turned on. We're now at speed 2. Now we're going to speed 3. So yeah, essentially you're getting filtered air straight to your mouth with the visor, and the microphones are still working at the same time. So I wonder how it sounds like once I review this. Now that you've heard the microphone in different settings, let me know what you think about them in the comments below while I give my final thoughts. The Dyson Zone excels at being a pair of premium headphones for consumers out there, and they surprise me in many ways given that they are the same company that makes the vacuum cleaner and the fan our office uses. They look and sound good, though their design with its visor may not be for everyone. That goes for its air filtering technology integration, which again is very new to the industry. And I think with this being the first iteration of its kind, there can only be more improvements made to its design and implementation into the broader market and design philosophies in good time. Though it is nice to have clean air blasting on your face that is pretty cooling, especially on a hot day, again, the visor is not a mask and hovers around your face. So if you really want to stay safe, you'd still be better off with a normal mask or one that forms a seal like an N95. Other than that, they are deceptively comfortable, and 50 hours of banging audio is a real treat. But again, is it worth the US $949 or US $999.99 price tag? It's a no for me, because I could, again, buy another pair of headphones and use a mask. But how about you? Would you get it? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to follow us on all of our socials here to keep up with the latest news we put out. And if you like what you're seeing, hit the like and subscribe buttons. It goes a long way with helping out the channel. If you want to see more stuff, check this out.